Hi, my name is Michael Collins with Misty Mountains Guiding Service, and today we're going to be tying the Bend Back Clouser. Here's the finished product here. So the hook we're going to be tying on is a Mustad shrimp back. It's a C84 BAP size 2. I've found them to be a pretty good hook for my needs. I've been pre-tying these with the eyes on them, and I use monofilament and Zap-A-Gap to kind of chemically weld everything and make sure these eyes don't go anywhere. So I've done a big batch of these, and now we're tying on with GSP 100. Materials include, these are 5.0 millimeter brass eyes from Wholesale Flyco, bucktail, gray, white, and we've got polar flash. So here we go. Not a lot of room to work with here. So everything's going to be tied on the top of the shank, and we're going to be just going straight up and over. The idea is we want to create a bit of a veil over the hook point there, to where whenever this fly is thrown into thick cover, which is what it's designed for, the fly will deflect. See how it didn't grab my finger there at all? I mean, I'm kind of pushing down on those fibers and it's not grabbing. So it's deflecting off of things and keeps you from getting hung up. So I'm gonna tie on. All right, we're gonna start with white bucktail. Our first pinch of bucktail is not gonna be a long one. I don't want my fibers to go past right about here. And that's gonna be our support for the rest of the fly. And I am picking fibers on a bucktail. I'm picking fibers out of kind of the middle section here, or maybe middle upper section for clousers. Got about that much, and that's far too many. What I do is I pinch out like that, and then I kind of pick through the ones I don't want and kind of weed through, get the desired amount. That's a little bit better, and we're going to be using not the full length. So right about there is good. And I'm going to trim these at an angle. When I tie these butt ends in, I find it easier to spin the GSP. Cords up the thread a little bit, and it's easier to kind of do a loose gathering wrap over the top of them, and then you can collect everything, pull tight. You can kind of rein in your bucktail fibers a little bit by pulling them forward. Don't pull too much or you'll give up a few, which is okay. And normally you don't want to really cinch tight on this. I kind of do here, and the reason why is it kicks these fibers up even a little bit higher and gets that hook point even lower in the fly. So that's good to me. Okay, so next we're going to do another pinch of white bucktail. I'm going to do a little heavier pinch, not too heavy, but a little heavier. That's, again, it's probably too much, but I like to go in and thin it out to my desired amount. That's probably a little better, yeah. Actually, that might still be a little bit much. So we're going to thin that even further. Yeah, that's better. That might even still be too much. We'll pull a couple more out there. Okay. This time we want to go over the top of the shorter stack by a fair bit. So that's pretty good. And We'll again make a cut here at an angle. Get our thread into position, spin the bobbin. Capture everything, set it into position. And you can use your thumb here and kind of just mash everything how you want it and pull on stuff and twist it. And don't be afraid to pull on these fibers and make sure nothing comes out. Pulling pretty hard there. That's a sign you've tied it in good. I like to pull on these fibers and twist with my fingers. That puts some like hand oils into the fibers, kind of collects everything and shows you the taper you're creating. So now we're going to integrate some flash. I usually do like 4 or 5 strands of this polar flash. It's a UV pearl, I think. Rainbow pearl, something like that. Use whatever you got, it doesn't matter. They just want to see it flash a little bit. Yeah, that's good. So, kind of just took that whole bunch there in half, put one side out, the other side out that way, and then I can come out here and collect it on the other side. And I can come back and kind of taper everything a little bit here. Careful not when you're stroking back, careful, because that hook will surprise you sometimes if you're not ready for it. Okay, so our final tie-in, we're going to go with gray bucktail, and we're going to go with a stack that is not as long as the last one, but not longer than the first, not as long as the last. So right here in the middle is kind of the sweet spot we're looking for. And if you only get it to where it comes right to here, that's okay. And I'm probably putting the least amount of fibers I've used so far in a bunch. I mean, we're talking like 20 fibers here of bucktail, if you were going to count them. We're just trying to get a little bit of a color change in there to, you know, a little gray on top. So I'm kind of just holding it there, measuring it. Looks good to me. Switch my grip. And again, we're going to cut at an angle. Spin the thread. Not a lot of room to work with there, but we're making it work. I cinched on that pretty good. I don't want to go anywhere. And I can use my thumb there and mash everything down, get it into position, pull and twist. If you got butt ends sticking out the front like this, you can kind of go in it and clean that up a little bit. So pulling hard. Let's cover all this up. Okay, to finish it off, I do like 4 or 5 half hitches. I'm faster with half hitches than I am a whip finishing tool. So I just do half hitches. And we're coating it in Sally Hansen anyway, so it does not really make a difference. Lathering it down pretty good. And that's a finished fly. That thing will deflect off anything you put it through. I rarely get these stuck. And if you've ever fished with me, you know I'm not afraid to throw it in the nasty stuff. So tie some up, throw them around wherever you want, see how they do for you. Enjoy. Thank you for watching.